Hi, myself Vaishnavi, Assistant Professor in the Department of Information Technology from SNS College of Engineering. Now let us see about the types of functional dependency. So already we know about the functional dependency. Now let us see about the types in it. The types of functional dependency. First one is trivial function dependency. Second, non-trivial function dependency. Third is multi-valid functional dependency. And fourth, transitive functional dependency. And the last one is fully functional dependency. So without wasting any time, let us go into the detailed one of each short intros. Let us start with first type, trivial functional dependency. Consider this functional dependency: A goes to B or A determines B. If dependent B is a subset of determinant A, then this dependency is trivial functional dependency. Let's take an example so that we can get a clear idea. So consider this employee table. From this table we can write a functional dependency: employee ID and name determines the name. It is a valid functional dependency. Yes, it is valid one. With the help of employee ID and name, we can determine the name attribute. If it is definitely a valid one, but it is kind of useless. So the dependent attribute name is a subset of determinant employee ID, and the name that is dependent is already present in the determinant. We are not getting any new form. It's such kind of dependency is trivial functional dependency. Non-trivial functional dependency is just the opposite of trivial functional dependency. So again, let us consider a dependency: A goes to B or A determines B. If dependent B is not a subset of determinant A, then only this dependency is said to be a non-trivial functional dependency. So let us take an example to get a clear idea about that. Same employee table. Now let us take another functional dependency. Let us say employee ID and name determine age. We can determine age by using employee ID and name. So it is a valid functional dependency. Now if we observe the dependent, age is not a subset of determinant employee ID and name. That is, dependent attribute is not present in determinant. So this kind of dependencies are non-trivial dependencies, which is just opposite to a trivial dependencies. So employee ID determines the name, or employee ID determines the age, or some valid non-trivial functional dependencies. In this particular table, now let us see about the multi-valued functional dependencies. In this dependency, we retrieve multiple values. Consider a functional dependency: A determines B and C. Now this is a multi-valued functional dependency. If there is no functional dependency between dependents B and C, that is, there should not be any functional dependency B determines C or C determines B. Then only we can say that A determines B and C is a multi-valued functional dependency. Let us simplify this by using the simple example, the same employee table, and from that we write a functional dependency: employee ID determines name and age. Now when will this functional dependency become multi-valid functional dependency? If there is no functional dependency between dependents. In our case, between name and age, let us check. By using name, can we determine the age uniquely? There are two records of the same name, but we have a different age. For example, ABC 28 and ABC 25. So invalid functional dependency, as one determinant attribute value has two separate dependent attribute values. Now let us check by using age, can we determine name? Similar case can be seen that here also for two same age values we have different name values. Same cases as if there are before. This is also an invalid functional dependency. So as there is no functional dependency between the dependents name and age, we can conclude that this functional dependency is a multi-valued functional dependency. Next one we have as a transitive dependency. So transitive functional dependency, what does this state is that if there is a functional dependency A determines B and another functional dependency B determines C, and if both are valid functional dependencies, then A can determine C and according to the rule of transitivity. Let us take an example of employee table. Let us consider two functional dependencies based on that table. First one is employee ID determines department name and department name determines the department building. Both are valid functional dependencies. So by transitivity we can say that by using employee ID we can determine department building. This is an indirect functional dependency which is called a transitive functional dependency. Last is that fully functional dependency. If there is a functional dependency A, B, C determines A determines a D, and if D cannot be determined by any proper subset of determinant A, B, C, that is the following proper subset of determinant A, B, C, A, B, C, A, B, A, B, C, A, C, or dependent or not cannot be a dependent of D, then only this functional dependency can be stated as a fully functional dependency. So let us elaborate using some example. Consider the mark table. By observing the table we can write that student ID and course ID together determines marks. Now let us check if this is fully functional dependency. We stated that dependence should not be determined by any proper subset. So our determinant is student ID and course ID. So proper subset for the following will be student ID and another will be course ID. Let us check if we can determine marks using this. If you want to get marks of student ID, there are 3 individual records with student ID 1 and we get 3 different values. For marks, we cannot uniquely determine marks just by student ID. This is not a functional dependency. Next, if you want to get marks of course ID, a course still we get different values for marks for one course ID. So following is also not functional dependency. So no proper subset of determinant can determine the dependent marks uniquely. Therefore, this functional dependency is fully functional dependency. Trivial functional dependency, non-trivial functional dependency, multivariate functional dependency, transitive functional dependency, fully functional dependency. These are the types of functional